Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Postgame Show podcast. Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Del Mendo, podcast number 2 of the day. We'll get to that in a second. This one was a disappointing game. I will say, for those of you who maybe missed most of the game or are listening to this later in podcast form and missed the game, save yourself the time. Just listen to the podcast. No need to go back and watch it.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything from this game. Unless you want to be really annoyed, like maybe this is meatballish of me, Luke. But I mean,
Meatball Island.
Yeah, I mean we have started Meatball Island here, thanks to our friend Greg Brex. But the Cubs hit so many hard balls tonight to the warning track, right at people. Unfortunately, I mean, Seiya Suzuki's out to end the game tonight. Basically, described this game. I mean,
summed the whole thing
up. Ryan Nelson gave up 2 hits. That is not like he should have given up at least 7 or 8 hits tonight. But baseball gonna baseball. Cubs had won 4 in a row.
Yeah,
you know,
winning streak's over.
You can't win them all. Whatever. The ass man was, in my opinion, wasn't much better, honestly. And, you know, I tweeted that video of Tommy Pham getting thrown out by John Lester before the game, and so I put out the bad energy. So if you guys just want to blame me for the loss, that's fine. If you want to blame me for the loss because I almost died on set yesterday drinking the beer bat, fine.
We're past that. I'm blaming it on Pat Hunt. He said he was on a flight and couldn't eat his rally raviolis. This one's on me, guys.
All right.
Shout out to the live YouTube chat.
Big of everyone for wanting to take the blame for the loss. I'm trying to do it, but if y'all wanna do it, then that's fine too.
Listen, if there's one thing I've learned over the last year and a half or so, it's that the live YouTube chat on CHGO Sports after a Cubs game is full of men and women of integrity.
Yeah.
So when it's our fault, we own up to it. It was our fault.
That's fair. Yeah.
Now this one wasn't my fault, but it was definitely his fault. It was Pat's fault. It was your fault.
Yep. Luke didn't do anything wrong.
Probably Joey's fault.
Yeah.
Don't forget, this is an intense group that we got here. Intense is the word I like to use, and I took my receipts day 3, and I think we're all happy with the spot we're in now, and it's okay. Let it out. We regroup, and we're back tomorrow. We got 3 more against the Diamondbacks, so good stuff. I think it's been a good stretch.
Yeah, girl, Cassie 95 says, and we have Tyone going tomorrow versus Gallen. God help us.
God help us.
Yeah, Cody was talking about that.
Let's not ruin all the positive vibes of the day. We started by saying, hey, this is Pod 2. Want to point out that if you missed the live podcast we did this morning from 10 to 11, Ben Zobrist was sitting right where Cody's at for over an hour just BSing with the CHGO crew.
It was awesome.
He was awesome talking about what he's doing here in town right now. He's got an event coming up on Saturday. All the details are in that podcast. Go back and watch it. Check it out on YouTube.
It was really awesome. Steve P does say, though, and he has a point, DFA Ben Zobrist or move him down because he has no hits or RBI since 2019. So it's sooner or later.
That is a fact, but he's, DFA, I mean, he's not on the roster, so it's like it's a fact but not a fact. Yeah. But don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Pat, here I am standing here taking blame for this loss. Credit to me.
Credit to you, Pat.
That's big of you.
Credit to you.
Credit to you.
I will
man
give
of
you
integrity.
all the credit. You're a man of integrity.
Even
Pat.
with the ravioli sauce on the shirt, you're still a man of integrity. Even if you spilled a little bit of the ravioli sauce here, maybe a little bit on the sleeve, it's okay. First of all, ravioli is very tricky. Sometimes if you get a little moisture underneath that ravioli, there it goes. If you don't get a good cut on it, off the plate, and you're in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, also, as you can see, I'm wearing pants tonight.
That's another reason Cody's to blame. He wore pants.
I wore pants. I mean, it's like 60. It was like 65, 66 in Chicago today. Like real gloomy. Like it felt like a fall day, right?
Yeah,
I did. I'm wearing a hoodie and sweatpants. And the first NFL game was tonight. It felt like a Sunday. Weather. Like I felt like football season started. This is okay. But maybe I just have to wear shorts until baseball season is over. I mean, I don't care how cold it is tomorrow. I'll wear shorts if I have to, guys.
Marcus says, the YouTube show earlier was really good. We appreciate that, Marcus, and we hope this one's,
somewhat better.
A third of that.
Calypso's
we're trying our best. It was a miserable game. It was a miserable game. There's not a whole lot of positive things. You can't sugarcoat a lot of it.
Calypso's Chaos has a positive. He says, we didn't just roll over and die, and I appreciate that.
That's right.
Yeah. So we've got that going. We've got that going for us.
That's right. We didn't roadkill ourselves. We just
that's a good point though. They did. They showed some fights. I like that.
At the end, they did show some fight, and they forced the Diamondbacks to have to bring their closer in. I'm pretty sure Sewald is their closer.
Well, and we talked about it. Like,
correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but
I'll say this on the way. I went home in between podcasts, so on the way back in traffic, I was listening to Waddle and Sylvie on AM 1000, ESPN 1000, and shout out to those guys. They had a great interview with Cody Bellinger today, and Bellinger was talking about different things, but one of them was, why didn't this team quit when they could have before the trade deadline? And he said, listen, it goes back to April. I know this sounds cliche, but this team believes that we can come back. We believe that we would finally turn it on. And he's like, and we finally turned it on, but it's not a surprise to us. And so that's why guys went into Jed and Carter Hawkins were like, don't trade us. We believe in this team. We think we can do it. And the follow-up question was, do you believe this team could win the World Series? And Bellinger paused for a millisecond. He said, I really do. He's like, I've been on a championship team. Doesn't mean, they're going to, but does he believe that they could get hot if they can get into the postseason? Do they have enough players? And that's what you want. That's what you want out of here. That's what you want to hear from your best player.
Yeah.
Now, it might not be true, but like Ben Zobrist said earlier today, the first people that need to believe it aren't the fans. It's got to be the guys in the clubhouse.
Right.
And so I'm glad we did see that fight at the end of the game. Maybe they weren't going to come back and win this, even though we did start to get a little tingly. I said, whoa, we get one more hit here. We even made a deal that we would go an hour and 15 minutes on the postgame show if they won.
If they came back from down 6-1.
If they came back down 6-1 and won.
They scored a run.
Cody's beer bat chug was going to take that long. It's probably going to be more of a sip, like a fine wine sip tonight. My wife did ask, you are going to continue the beer bat chug?
Yeah, we have to continue
the beer
quitter,
what? Right?
I have to avenge what happened, all right? But the Cubs have to win a game. That way I'm off the hook, and then I will do better. All right? It's kind of like someone said in the chat yesterday that, guys have bad days at the office.
Yeah.
Or
not us,
on the field or whatever.
Well,
and I had a bad day at the office yesterday,
right,
despite the win, and now I have to bounce back. I somewhat bounced back today by having great conversation with Ben Zobrist.
That's right. And you did have a win that it wasn't a bad day. It was just a bad 10-second window.
Yeah.
At the office.
But I gotta I strive to be top tier for a full hour when we do this show.
If it's not out on the internet, it didn't happen. So it is possible that it's just disappeared. We could take it down off YouTube. Joey could go in and just splice that.
That would be
15 seconds out.
That would be big of Joey to do, but I'm not asking him.
Right
to do it.
now, the guy on the poop plane, he can't. That's living in infamy. That's not going anywhere. But your little spit up of a little beer, that's nothing.
I appreciate that.
Let me tell you what I would like Tommy Pham to go away forever. Oof. I figured with it being the first football game tonight that he'd be worried about fantasy football and might not play, but turns out he was angry at the baseball.
Yeah,
don't like him.
I saw him when I looked at the lineup and I saw he was batting third. I was like, why is Tommy Pham batting third? Like that.
We only have problems with people batting third.
But the thing is I felt like the peak of his career was in St. Louis, and he's been a fine player since he's left St. Louis, but he hasn't been a guy that you put in the middle of the order. So credit to what's his name? Torey DeVilo? I forget.
Danny DeVito, I believe, is his name, the pitcher.
The manager for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Torey something. I can't say.
Lavello.
I wanted to say DeVito, and But anyway,
I see.
He still got thrown out by John Lester.
That's right.
It's a fact.
He did.
All right?
Yeah.
It happened. And we will always remember it, more so because of Tim McCarver. So
David Snyder in the live YouTube chat says, hitter stunk, 5 hits, lame against a no-name pitcher with an ERA over 5. For the last 30 games, strangely weak offense today. What happens if they face the Braves or Dodgers pitching?
Well, they won a series
now
against both those teams.
They did hit the ball hard a few times, but obviously you would like a better performance to help pick up Javier Assad, who was not Autumn of the Ass Man tonight.
No.
Autumn of the Ass Man was delayed. There was no full moon.
Yeah, I mean, and
he was more average Ass Man tonight.
And to be fair, the Ass Man was not good, like you said, and I was saying it on the couch. I mean, when Assad was in the game, the exit velocities against him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 balls were hit over 100 miles per hour against him. And obviously 2 of them, or obviously some of them were hit by Tommy Pham, okay?
Yeah.
So, you know, even Ketel Marte's two-run homer was 105 miles per hour. The second Tommy Pham homer was hit off, I think it was Keegan Thompson. But, no. The Ass Man was giving up a ton of hard contact tonight. And I felt like the Cubs were still in a good spot when it was 3-1. But then after Thompson gave up the 2-run shot, I felt like, okay, it's one of those nights. The thing is the hard balls that the Diamondbacks hit, they just happened to go over the fence, and the Cubs did not do that. But they had, I just don't understand because they hit so many to the warning track tonight. It's just so annoying. But again, I'm not making any excuses. It's the Ass Man was not good tonight. So
Craig does point out it's technically still summer around here. Still technically the summer of Mike Tauchman.
It is still technically. I think that
I believe the 23rd of September. I failed meteorology. Actually, I didn't. I took pass-fail, and I became a meteorologist for
21st is the solstice, I believe.
The great pictures, by the way.
Or whatever, like the shortest.
It depends. First of all, there's meteorological, and then there's what's it called?
Well, actually, that's in December.
Star one, whatever that is.
Yeah. Yep.
There's
Moving on.
multiple times when allegedly fall starts. Most people think of Labor Day as the start of fall.
Yeah. So I guess
22nd, Craig. Thank you.
To round it out, I mean, it's hard to be upset with Assad in general. Just because he's been so good.
Great.
He should have won his last start, but we talked about it a lot. We put the blame on David Ross on that one. The 8-inning performance against the Reds. But he's pitched well even up until that point. So if he had to have a start like this, fine. So he can bounce back after this one, hopefully. He's also still a young pitcher, and you just can't what we've gotten out of Assad in general has been incredible. So
it's arguably the most surprising player on the team this season.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys you could say that about, but Assad has been
right. And he's
considering he went down and came back. Since he's come back, he's been.
And he still only gave up 3 runs. Personally, he probably should have given up more based off the hard contact that he gave up. But, the Cubs have a great defense. Keegan Thompson, when he came in, he got the huge double play, the ground ball to Bellinger. He touches first base and then makes a great throw to, I believe it was Swanson.
That was a great play.
That felt like perhaps a turning point, as Pat Hughes would say. But then in the bottom half of the inning, I think that's when they finally got their first run. But they just couldn't add on after that. So, or no, they didn't get their first run then. But yeah, they just couldn't get to the hits together. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That was the story of this game.
It was more about the offense than it was about Assad.
It definitely was more about the offense than it was Assad. It's just, I guess maybe I had grown accustomed to Assad pitching like the way he had been.
Yeah.
It wasn't just his last start against the Reds. He pitched well in Toronto. He pitched well in other appearances that he's had this last month or so. So I guess my expectations were a little bit higher, but maybe I need to bring him down just because he is a young pitcher who, it's not like he was put in the rotation or at the beginning of the year. So.
But why can't the opposite happen tomorrow? Tyone has been less than we expected.
That's fair.
But why can't Tyone come out and pick up his teammate?
That'd be great.
Pick it up tomorrow. I mean, I see the chat and I understand it. Everybody's chalked tomorrow up as loss.
Yeah.
Baseball's a funny game.
It is a funny game.
It's a funny game,
especially when I wear the "I'm ready to be hurt again" shirt tomorrow.
That could be.
Yep. Against Zach Gallen too. All odds against us.
What if for one day we changed the rules of who he got so you could select a pitcher and you took Tyone?
Well,
just
now
looking to spark
really,
something. Just looking to spark something. And I know the integrity of the game.
Now you're really pushing the envelope.
I know the integrity of the game.
We are talking about the integrity of the game. But I feel like when Ryan
still not buying it except
when
for Craig.
Ryan gets in here from beautiful historic Wrigley Field, I feel like we have to ask.
Oh, and it has to be a fully agreed upon by the panel of
players,
idiots.
participants.
Us three.
That's us. Panel of idiots. Mo, Larry, and Curly. All right, hey, we're going to talk a little bit about the Ben Zobrist thing in a little bit. Hopefully Ryan Herrera is going to join us. It was a bad game. Cubs lost the Diamondbacks. The good news is the Brewers didn't play.
Right.
So you're only 2 games out, and the Marlins lost already.
Mm-hmm.
So you lost a little ground on the Diamondbacks 1 game, but you didn't lose anything to the Marlins. So
yeah, and you're 2 games back in the division now instead of 1.5.
That's right.
You know, say the Cubs win tomorrow and Milwaukee loses tomorrow, then you're a game back and you're back in position to perhaps maybe be in first place after the weekend. As close as they are, I still think this is going to come down to the very last weekend of the year. So as far as the division, but right now we're rock solid in the wild card. I feel good about the wild card. Obviously, I want more. We deserve more, considering how this season has gone and how well they've played. Yeah, I mean, I give the Diamondbacks the Diamondbacks are a good team. Like, they're in the playoff race, and that's why watching the Cubs beat up on the Giants this week, a team that's in the chase, was so impressive to me, especially after that annoying series against the Reds. So, you know, this team has bounced back from adversity so many times this year. Why not tomorrow? Why not?
Why not? Sean is going to the game tomorrow. Not hopeful. That's not the way to go into things. Let's keep the negativity out. The godfather of CHGO Cubs, Michael Collada, has joined us. He's back to saying we stinks. Godfather would like to know maybe that Ben Zobrist, as he was leaving here today, told us he was going to Tom Ricketts' house for dinner tonight.
I thought it was tomorrow.
I think they have another. Maybe it was tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, he is going to Tom Ricketts' house for dinner, though.
Going to the Ricketts' house for dinner.
Yeah. With, I guess, everyone else that's going to be there, as in the team. For whatever
it sounds
reason.
like it's going to be an event.
An event, yes.
And hopefully they can, stir up some cash for what he's doing in the community.
Godfather says blame Ross. All right, big of me here, Godfather. You want some integrity? I'll give you some integrity. I did not like Keegan Thompson coming back out for that. I think it would have, technically been his 3rd inning. He came in, got that double play, and then he had a 1-2-3 inning after that, so he got 5 total outs. But he went over. He was close to 30 pitches after that, and I just, considering how his season has been, I feel like it just would have been nice for him to just be done with those 5 outs and just to feel good, because his last appearance was real shaky.
Vibes.
You know what I mean?
Get the vibes back.
Just for his own confidence, I feel like it would have been better if he had taken him out after that inning and let Wesneski come in or whatever, or whoever. I mean, I know it was 3-1. You're trailing, but I think he kind of pushed it with Thompson tonight, and so and what happens? He gives up the 2-run shot to Tommy Pham. All right, so.
Let's not say that name anymore.
I was high on Thompson after those 5 outs he got, and then he gives up that homer, and it's just like, fuck. So there you go, Godfather. That's some integrity.
Has Patrick Mahomes rushed for a touchdown yet? I got a same-game parlay going. I just want to keep an eye on it.
It's the end of the third quarter, though. And
he did run and took a big hit, but he's fine.
14.
He did run. He took a hit. And what's the score?
17-14.
Chiefs?
Yes.
Okay, so see, I just need that touchdown. Just need that touchdown.
The under is intact right now.
Running. Hey, guys, get your ducks in a row because it's the grand reopening of Ray's Chevy, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake. Flock in September 9th and celebrate our Get Ducked event with free prizes and your chance to win $1,000. Plus, during Jeep Adventure Days, get employee pricing on all new 2023 Jeep Gladiator models. The grand reopening of Ray's CDJR in Fox Lake is only on September 9th, but the savings are all month long.
Can I read I'm going to try and read the next ad just like how you just read that ad.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Are you ready? All right, guys, Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products.
It's not the same.
That's because it's not a car ad. That's why.
Yeah, sorry.
Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your football season. No matter where you are on your cannabis journey, easy online ordering and in-store pickup, great transparent loyalty program, Sunnyside Rewards, Illinois' favorite dispensary. Some of your favorites. I know Luke, he loves Mindy's, the best tasting gummy and chocolate edibles created by James Beard Award-winning chef Mindy Siegel in Cresco Labs. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Damon Avenue.
There you go. They got other ones like High Supply, Good News, Cresco, Wonder, and a lot more. So through August, or not August, it's
October.
Through October 15th, guys. Through October 15th, head to sunnyside.shop and use code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order. One use per customer, not stackable with other promotions. That's not only for new customers. Anyone can use our code. Pick up everything you need to elevate your season. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois MedCard holder.
I would say, since technically it is not fall, if there was an athlete that gave us the sunny side summer Friday feels like, hey, things are great this summer. If there's an athlete that did that for us this week, it's probably Ben Zobrist.
Yeah.
Came in studio here. When you get the World Series MVP of the greatest World Series ever played in the biggest game ever played, and he comes into our podcast, that's a Sunnyside summertime feel right there.
It was a vibe.
It was also a vibe.
Can he just be the DraftKings king of the game?
If we had to do a DraftKings king of the game, I would probably give it to my guy Saya, who almost hit a home run.
Yeah, triple.
That was probably.
And then he should have had another. He should have had another hit at the end of the game.
Is that the official DraftKings king of the game or the hypothetical?
Let's do it. Let's say it's time for the DraftKings king of the game, and let's go with Saya Suzuki.
Yeah,
I was waiting for a sound effect there, but no.
Saya Suzuki. Hold on.
Saya kept his hitting streak going. Now 8 games. DraftKings king of the game, Saya Suzuki, 8-game hitting streak, had a triple, smoked it to almost bring the Cubs back in the 9th inning.
Almost.
Scored one of the... One of the 2 runs. I knew it was going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Better
late than never.
That's right.
That's the motto.
That's right. King of the game. Brought to you by DraftKings.
Yes. That's like better late than never. I don't know. I love the guys over at Just Baseball. And Peter Appel, he has been negative about the Cubs and didn't believe about the Cubs all season. The other day he tweeted that he apologizes and he now wants to jump on the bandwagon.
That's all right. Like Mark Harmon.
And I told him it's better late than never and that I will allow it. So that's big of me. And he's not even like he's not being negative about the team because he's not even really a Cubs fan. He's a baseball fan. His take about the Cubs was that they were just going to be awful this year, and they've proven him wrong. So
as a man of integrity, he is.
Yeah, as a man of integrity, I gave him credit for admitting he was wrong. A lot of people don't want to do that online. You know what I mean? A lot of people.
Nobody wants to go back and say all the things they said were wrong.
Yeah. I will do that.
For instance, when I said they were dead in the water before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Dead in the water, guys. Time to move on.
When I said that they were done after they lost that first game against Washington, after losing 2 or 3 against the Red Sox in the second half of the year. Honestly, ever since they Ever since the Red Sox series ended, they've been on a run.
I saw our guy Dom Frederick had the video. Was he the one that posted the video of the bleacher wedding?
I don't know where he got it, because I feel like I would have known if he would have been at the game tonight. But like
somebody maybe sent it to him.
Yeah,
there's multiple views of it now coming out. It looks like possibly Ronnie Woo was the officiant.
I don't know.
It wasn't. It wasn't. But can you imagine? I mean, first of all, you got to be really, 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 really into the Cubs to be like, let's get married in the bleachers.
Yeah. You see, the only way that I would ever consider doing that is if I had met my future significant other in the bleachers. Or
Tom
at
Ricketts.
Wrigley, you know?
Tom Ricketts.
Yeah.
Met his wife in the bleachers. Decided to buy the team instead of getting married at the ballpark.
He just bought the park. I always think it's dumb to do the whole like proposing thing on the scoreboard or whatever.
Getting proposed on a jumbotron of any kind is the worst thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
And even if she thinks it's great, the entire stadium is looking at you going, please let her say no. Please let her say no.
Yeah.
Please let the other person say no.
Right. So,
but this getting married, I put higher up than getting.
That girl was in a dress.
I was bar mitzvah.
Oh, yeah.
I was bar mitzvah at Wrigley Field.
I had wedding pictures taken at Wrigley
became a
Field,
man.
but I didn't.
Became a man at
I didn't
Wrigley
get
Field.
married there.
How about that? It's fitting.
He became a man at Wrigley Field.
Yes.
Credit to you.
Manhood.
And that's because of the bar mitzvah, right?
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Well, actually, it was actually it's a couple of months later, but yeah.
This is a family show, Joey. Let's this is a
family
leave it alone.
show.
Family
Joey.
show. We've already spit up beer on it. Ben Zobrist wasn't.
Is this a family show? I curse on here all the time.
Ben wasn't. We did ask Ben Zobrist today, would you chug a beer bat with Cody one time? He's like, listen, I'm trying to get a message out to like 12-year-olds. It's probably not the best.
I did ask him if he would do a beer bat at Wrigley tomorrow, like when the Cubs put him on the scoreboard, because he's throwing the first pitch out tomorrow. I just felt like
that could spark the Cubs.
Sometimes you have to ask the hard hitting questions. Luke.
That was it,
and that's what I did. I asked the hard hitting questions.
And of course, if you wait wait till the end of the podcast, the Yadier Molina question was asked.
Yes, it was.
Was definitely asked. If you know, you know.
If you know,
if you don't, check out the podcast. It's the one right before this one. So yeah, wedding in the bleachers. Do you have the Jordan Wicks on marquee clip, Joey?
Did you put it in the Slack?
I put it in Slack. Our guy Rick Sutcliffe retweeted it with a comment.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we could listen to it. It's Jordan Wicks talking about the mix of rookies and established players in the Cubs clubhouse right now and how that is all meshing and working together.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
Joey's going to check it. Checking 1, checking 2, checking 3. This is live YouTube television podcast.
It's awesome. You get a lot of guys that are really hungry, really want to win, really want to, help contribute. But you can't say it doesn't happen without the leadership that we have in that locker room, from guys like Happer to Swanson to Nico, guys like Hendricks in the rotation. Those guys, we get to come in every day and see how they work and see how it's truly done. And they do an outstanding job of setting the example.
And on that, we were talking about leadership and different guys, and we asked Zobrist, which I thought was one of the more fun parts of the podcast, about the speech, Jason Hayward's speech. He's having his event Saturday at Jason Hayward's academy, and we asked him. He was answering a question I think you asked about Jason. Oh, we have it. Oh, yeah,
I didn't mean to play it yet. But
No. Go ahead.
You want to tee it up a little bit? That's fine.
No. It gets to him talking about the famous speech of Jason Hayward's, but the first part of it is just talking about Jay Hay in general here.
All right, here we go.
One thing that Jay Hay was so good at is paying attention to what everybody around him needed. Mm-hmm. And that's why he did what he did in Game 7, calling that team meeting during the rain delay. I mean, it's It's one of the biggest moves I've ever seen of anybody to really recognize what everybody around him needed and then to make it happen, even though he had feelings himself. You know, he had enough emotional intelligence at the time to know the way I'm feeling is not as important as the way collectively we need to address this thing right here. And I think ultimately we all have bad days. Like, you know, you're going to have times where you don't want to help somebody around you. But you have to recognize that and know, like, hey, I might have a harder day today, but if I can go help somebody else and do something like this, then at the end of the day, we're all going to win. We're all going to find a way to win. And that's what Hayward did at the time. He was that kind of guy, which is why he ended up, I'm not surprised he was involved in building this facility. And it's why I want to give back in that way too.
So that moment wasn't overhyped afterwards. You think that moment was everything?
Underhyped.
Underhyped.
In my opinion. I mean, as a teammate, a guy sitting in the room, knowing how important that was to changing the internal mindset, because that's what people don't see. You see what happens on the field, but what you don't see is the momentum, the motivation, the shift that's happening internally in a moment like that when somebody refocuses you on what you need, which is why the parents and the coaches are so important for a young athlete. They're the ones that help a young athlete refocus on what they need to. And if a parent isn't doing that, or a caretaker isn't doing that, you could actually be the person that's foiling the focus that needs to happen for that young athlete, which is why we all got to do that work.
All right, we're just touching.
I don't know about you guys, but I could have used Jay Hay at my house that night.
We all could have used Jay Hay at our house that night.
So anyways, talking about the speech, there's always been debate, I think, in Cubs fandom and also from just sports fans in general. Did the speech really mean something? Would they have won it without it? But I think what he's saying is, hey, first of all, don't underestimate how much pressure there was to win, break 108 years, get to Game 7, and you've blown this lead. The rain came at the right time. The speech came at the right time. And I know Jason Hayward didn't get enough big hits. But if he contributed to the Cubs winning the World Series, as Ben Zobrist is saying, underhyped, I think you'd take those games without hits afterwards. And again, he wasn't trying to steal money from the team. He just wasn't the player that he hoped to be either.
And he did have some big hits.
And he still, of course he did. He had a walk-off grand slam.
Right. And I feel like if 2020 would have been a full year, he probably would have earned some, I don't know, a little bit more love from the fan base, because he was like the only good hitter they had in 2020. It was him and Ian Happ in 2020. But, 60 games, no one's going to take that seriously. So it is what it is. But I've always said that Jason Hayward is, yes, he didn't hit the way you wanted him to, but his defense for sure. I mean, if you just go back this year and you look at the defense the Cubs had in right field before Seiya Suzuki came back, people in the chat, us sat on the set and complained about who's playing right field. You could clearly tell the difference it makes without someone who can play good defense in right field at Wrigley Field. All right, like the defense.
Not that you want to go back to that, but it's
right. I'm just saying a lot of people don't want to give him any credit for anything at all, and that's all I've ever said. I've never said that he lived up to the contract. I never said that he, it was, really that much of a good player that you were expecting at all. He definitely was disappointing overall, but it's not like he was the worst player the Cubs have ever had. He obviously wasn't a bad dude.
That's not true.
He definitely wasn't the worst guy off the field either. I could name a handful of players that are worse off the field than him. So well,
he's one of the best off the field.
Right.
He's one of the best off the field. The connection I was trying to make between Wicks and what Zobrist said in both in recent comments would be that in 2015, 2016, especially 2016, the Cubs had a really nice mix of infusion of young talent mixed with veteran guys that knew how to do it and showed them the way, right? Lester showed them the way. Lackey showed them the way. David Ross showed them the way. Even Jason Hayward at that point showing the way. Now this group comes in and the young guys, Wicks, are saying, I'm listening to Hendricks all the time. I'm listening to Cody Bellinger said Jan Gomes is the heartbeat of this team. Those guys, the young guys coming through, are all starting to learn. We're going to do a couple ad breaks. Ryan is anxiously waiting for us. Make sure you take on the sun this summer with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead and fall and winter snow, which can be bright as well. Premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays, an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product just as good as any expensive pair I've ever owned. Durable frames, extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures, and that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they'll send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence, because they have your back long after you purchase them. Together with their customers, Shady Rays is providing much-needed support for nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays Impact, from building play sets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventure of a lifetime. Shady Rays is making an impact in your community. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. No risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use the code CHGO. 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by more than 250,000 people.
Absolutely. And me and Luke both will have our Shady Rays on at the tailgate, Bears tailgate this weekend.
Yeah.
Where there'll be plenty.
Just for vibes, even if it's cloudy.
For sure. For vibes, to maybe, maybe I'm a little hungover from my Saturday, so I don't want people to see my face. I don't know. But there's going to be plenty of Goose Island there, and nothing goes better with your Shady Rays than an ice-cold Goose Island 312 or an Oktoberfest or something from the Beer Hug family or a full pocket Pilsner. The guy from Goose Island showed up today with 2 giant carts.
I saw that.
There's
Wow,
unbelievable amount of Goose Island over there. I'm going to go count how many cases there are.
We can't even give away our exact location because Joey's going to take some time to go count some cases.
Yeah. So much Goose Island. It's awesome. So make sure if you're coming out to the tailgate, you come thirsty because there's going to be plenty of Goose Island. It's the official beer of CHGO, Chicago's beer since 1988. Grab Ultra Fresh brewery exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
And you can still get tickets to that tailgate party, ALLCHGO.com right now. If you're a diehard, you get 20% off the event. Plus, if you sign up to be a diehard now, you get a free shirt, swag, and the tailgate price, even for non-diehards, includes all-you-can-eat firewater barbecue, all-you-can-drink Goose Island. Party starts at 11.
Hell yeah.
You can drink a lot of Goose Island from 11 o'clock to kickoff.
Absolutely.
Or just before kickoff.
Lions just took the lead. David Montgomery, old friend.
Old friend David Montgomery. Here comes Joey because he just remembered we need to bring in Ryan Herrera. Beautiful. How many cases?
I ran out of time because I realized we needed to bring in Ryan, but somewhere
He's got to do his job.
Somewhere up around 40.
Fitting that Cody and I wore black and white today. It is a funeral-esque after a 6-2 loss.
Yeah. All right, here we
Ryan's wearing
go.
black as well.
We can now say aloha.
Can we see him yet?
You know what? There we go.
And there he is. Ryan Herrera.
Hey.
Ryan, someone in the chat said, and I would sort of agree with this, it was a clunker. Go ahead and flush it, and we'll see you tomorrow at 1:20.
Yeah, I mean it was quick post game, right? Like there was nothing really much to ask or say about it. It was, Ross and Assad both said that Assad kind of struggled with the command today for the first time in a while, and you could see that. I think he had 3 swings and misses total on the night. And the D-backs were seeing him pretty well and hitting him pretty hard. And then on the other side, the Cubs hit a lot of hard hit balls themselves, right? They just, not a lot of them were finding grass or getting through the infield, or maybe just were hit a little too high and not deep enough, right? Morel and Bellinger, I think, both had a couple that warning track, and Sayas stays in the park too. I thought that was gone, but it just hit right at the top of the wall. So I think when they look at it is, Javi he's been really good since joining the rotation. Today is really like the first like bad start we saw from him. And he did, manage to salvage an okay outing, right? Like it didn't turn in. It didn't like. I think he had 3 runs allowed, so it didn't turn into like this massive black mark on his on his game logs and stuff. It was just really probably his worst start in a while. So again, struggled with the command, but they still believe that Assad's got in him what he's been doing since he joined the rotation. And then, like I said, the bats were good. I kind of noticed that myself. David Ross, Nico Horner both talked about the at bats still being good, and so all that kind of together helps them flush it. Right, it was a bad game. It turned out bad. But they felt like they still did some of the little things right, just didn't get a whole lot of luck. And, that happens in baseball. So, easy one to flush. They're going to come back tomorrow. 3 more games against the Diamondbacks and then more in Arizona next week. So, they kind of just got to turn around and try to win tomorrow.
I agree. It wasn't the worst start. 5 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. But as you guys always point out, the Delmetrics, exit velo would tell you that they hit the ball pretty hard, but it's still not. Yeah. You give up 3 earned runs and go 5 1/3.
Could have worse starts.
It's not a bad major league start. A bad one is when you give up 7 runs and you pitch 3 innings, something like that, right? Like that's a bad. This was just a meh start.
Also, Delmetrics don't measure exit velocity. That's just
baseball. There's more vibes that go into, and the vibe was not as good.
Delmetrics does measure eye test, and the eye test showed me that yes, Assad wasn't great tonight. So
Edward would like to now call him the proctologist. That is not his nickname. It's not his nickname. What else? What else was? What else was said after the game? What were guys talking about?
I mean, kind of just that was really it, right? There's not a whole lot to say about that game. That's kind of the whole story of it. It was just a bad game. And they got to flush it and come back tomorrow. Nico was asked kind of, about the Diamondbacks team who, is a team we haven't seen obviously prior to today, right? It's not like we knew they were a good team. They've been in first place at points in the NL West this year. We knew they're a good team. They're kind of looking up at the Cubs in the standings and trying to catch them a little bit. But Nico talked about Zach Allen, right? They got him tomorrow, the Cubs. They got a good lineup. The Diamondbacks just promoted their top prospect shortstop. What was his name? Lawler, Jordan Lawler, I think so. So they just promoted him. Corbin Carroll's like rookie of the year front runner, right? They have good players. They're a playoff caliber team. And so it's going to be a tough game regardless of tonight was going to be a tough game regardless of what the results were. So again, just knowing that they put together the good at bats kind of helps salvage some of that for them, I guess. But they're going to have to be better tomorrow. That's about it. Hopefully, they get some more luck, but they just got to be better tomorrow because they got a really tough pitcher coming in. Yeah,
and let's just hope that Jameson Taillon figures out his fastball tonight. Whatever's going on with his fastball, something happens in his dreams, and he's like, this is what it is, and this is how I fix it. That's what the Cubs, they need him to pick up the outing from tonight.
Question here on that note before we wrap. Do you think, do you want to see Ross with an shorter than normal leash tomorrow with Taillon?
Steals on Sunday?
Steals on Saturday.
Steals on Saturday, I mean.
Perhaps. I mean, it just depends.
Just wondering. I've seen a couple guys in the chat throw it out. I'm not sure we're there yet.
The problem with Taillon is he struggles early, but then between the third and the sixth inning, he'll be better.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? So it's like,
which I'm okay with that.
It's a good point.
Don't get me wrong. He needs to be better than he has, but if he's going to be bad early, at least eat the innings so you don't burn the bullpen.
Yeah. And it's that and the fact that he just can't keep the ball in the park. He gives up too many homers. And that Diamondbacks lineup has a lot of lefties in it. So I'm worried about tomorrow in Taillon. I think if I said that I wasn't worried about Taillon tomorrow, y'all would be thinking I'm been spending too much time at Sunnyside or something. But I don't know. he's got to find a way to keep the ball in the park and just be more consistent, because it's the same thing every time out. Struggles early and then magically gives you a 1-2-3 inning when the Cubs are down 3 or 4 runs. Like that's what it feels like his last handful of starts. That nice stretch he had from the game that
a thing of the past.
Yeah, the stretch he had from the start against the Yankees up through, I don't know, the next 6 or 7 starts after that, like, was pretty consistent. But his last 2-3 have been the same in terms of giving up runs early and then somehow finding it the last 3-4 innings that he's out there. And if it ain't for the Cubs offense, he doesn't help them at all.
All right, let's do who you got real quick. Not a ton of stars tonight. So, Joe, do you have who we picked in who you got?
I don't have the graphic made, but I can pull it up here.
Sack fly.
There's a set. So there's an RBI. My guy had a hit.
Corey had Morrell.
Scored a run.
Corey had Morrell. Ryan had Bellinger.
And he was robbed on the last play of the game. I mean, if he gets a hit there, it's over.
Cody
if he gets a hit, I'd probably have who you got unless somebody gets a walk-off. No, you got robbed. There's just not much. Did anybody have Nico? Who had Nico?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody.
I don't think anybody had Nico, unless.
So I'd say, well, Nico had 2 hits. Seiya had 1, scored a run. Sounds like I won again, fellas.
Wow, big of you.
Credit to me.
My guy drove in one of the 2 runs.
Credit to me. Your guy did drive in a run.
Pick the hottest hitter in the lineup again. That's
after everyone had chosen. I left everybody out there on the table.
You still had 3 more hitters in the lineup you could have taken.
I almost went Tauchman. Actually, I chose Gomes first, and I switched. I'm like, nobody took Seiya? All right, I'll take Seiya.
Exactly. You're afraid to take a risk.
No, what I thought was I don't want to be the person responsible for Seiya's hitting streak being snapped, and so I took one for the team, and I said, I'm going to go Seiya Suzuki. Credit to me for being a man of integrity.
Big of you.
Is that how it's done, Cody? Is that big of me? That's correct, Joe.
No credit.
Correct. Big of me. All right, Ryan's got to be. Ryan, you're back at the ballpark tomorrow, or are you off tomorrow?
I'm actually heading to Kansas City for
wow.
a wedding this weekend, so I will not be here tomorrow.
All right. Well, still make sure you get your who you got picks in, because that's always very important.
And make sure you get whatever that thing they throw to the dudes are at the wedding.
The garter?
Oh, yeah.
Like they throw the thing to the ladies and they throw the thing to the dudes.
The bride throws the bouquet and the groom or she throws the garter, and then the guys try to catch that. It's supposed to be the next person to be married on you.
Yeah. They still do that?
They still do that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But I'm trying to help you out, man.
Just stay hydrated. Stay
hydrated too, yeah.
All right.
You're going to need to do that. Open bar, stay hydrated.
And we'll miss you at the tailgate.
Yeah, I'm sad about that, but hopefully the Bears welcome me home with a win over the Packers. First game in the post-Aaron Rodgers era. We need it.
Maybe if the Bears beat the Packers, a water cannon on the river welcomes Ryan back from Kansas City, something like that.
Yeah. That'd be great.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Have a great weekend.
Barb has entered the
chat.
chat.
We are live for just a few more minutes. It's almost over. Want to tell you the CHGO has a weekly Pick X and NFL Survivor contest for everybody to participate in for real money. Here's how to enter. Head to splashsports.com/CHGO. The link is in the description and sign up. Deposit cash and get started. It's just $10 to enter either. CHGO's weekly NFL Pick X contest and CHGO's Survivor contest. The more who enter, the larger the prizes. We'll be running weekly contests all year. Be sure to keep that link handy. Want to run your own contest? Well, tired of maybe being the commission on leagues and chasing people down, none of the reward? Well, now you can sign up to be the commissioner right through our link and earn money for the contest you're already running with family and friends. Head to splashsports.com/CHGO to join in. We're going to have different contests coming up. Stoked to be out there competing against you and with you. Be sure to click the link in our description. Barb, we will be live after the game tomorrow. And Barb, I don't remember if you were on the podcast this morning. If you missed it, go back and listen to the previous podcast with Ben Zobrist. It was a lot of fun. That was from 10 to 11 today. It's also out on the CHGO Sports YouTube page.
Mm-hmm. Just hit
over
the
an hour with Ben Zobrist. He talked about it. He was awesome.
Hit the live tab on the YouTube channel, like main page, or the CHGO Sports profile main page, and then hit the live tab and scroll down. You should see
thumbs up, of course.
Yeah, thumbs up. But you'll see all the shows that we did today. The first one that CHGO did today was our show we did with Ben Zobrist.
That's right.
So
Barb, you can still go back and watch it. You can't comment on it live,
No.
but you can give it a thumbs up. And in response, one final thing before we go. No, we did not eat the Rally Rice Krispies because we're out, and the Rally Ravioli by Pat Hunt in the chat was eaten for lunch.
Yeah.
And
we got to get on top of it, guys. Guys, we have got to wake up.
Men of integrity.
Yeah. Somebody's got to go get more Rally Rice Krispies.
Again.
Pat, we've got to save the ravioli for dinner. We're in September now, okay? These are rookie mistakes.
Right. I got to stop wearing pants again.
And
Right. No more
Cody
pants
wore
for Cody.
which is bad luck.
No more Pham
And
videos.
I tweeted the Tommy Pham video.
We're in a
from
pennant race,
when
guys.
Lester-
Every game counts here.
I mean, how did the Cubs even get through the third inning the
I
way
know.
Cody jinxed them tonight?
I know. It's all on me, guys.
Man of
So when you
integrity.
go to bed tonight,
just remember.
Hold
Credit
me
to
accountable.
Cody. Credit to Cody.
Send
Ryan to Jules
for more.
Not
Rice
Jewel,
Krispies.
to Jules for
To
more Rice
Jules.
Krispies. Beautiful.
yeah, the
Barb. Thank
jewels.
you.
The jewels.
Cubs lose to the Diamondbacks. They'll try again. Jamison Tyone on Friday afternoon will be here for the postgame show. Until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and fly the W.